I am sick to death of Arsenal fans, and especially Liverpool fans, mentioning Isak. Fucking shut up about it. Welcome back to the kickoff, and things just took a turn for the worse if you're a Newcastle fan, because this transfer window, it's been going all right. We got Elanga in, exciting. We got linked with Ekitike, looked like that might be happening, and then boom. Your happiness has gone on too long, Brian. Things need to end. And it's just like, why are you suffering just a part of my football journey so much? We've fallen in love with Alexander Isak up in Newcastle. He's our guy. We don't want to let him go. We know one day he might find someone better, but that can't be now. We've only just fallen for each other. At least let me enjoy it for a minute. You bastards. Liverpool have apparently approached Newcastle finally after all of the rumblings that have been going on all summer, and they've made contact now, and they're talking about a potential world record fee for Alexander Isak, and they know that's what it's going to take. If they're going to make it happen, it's going to be massive money. Now, who knows what that number will be? Ornstein has said 120 million is the rumoured number. Of course, Alexander Isak is worth that. He's worth more than that, in my opinion, in fact. You look at the likes of Declan Rice, who went for over 100 million. Caicedo went for over 100 million. Even Jack Grealish, 4 fucking years ago, when this transfer market was nowhere near the fucking craziness that we're seeing this year. Jack Grealish went for 100 million pounds, and I think he got like 10 assists, 6 goals, some shit like that. That was 4 years ago. Jack Grealish wasn't someone who you sign, and it basically guarantees you're going to win the Premier League. Alexander Isak for Liverpool does that. You are buying the league. This is even more than when Robin van Persie went to Manchester United. It's even more of a guarantee. I've said it in previous kickoff shows. If Mbappe had actually gone for a fee to Real Madrid, it would have been 200 million. Alexander Isak is as good as Mbappe. Newcastle played Mbappe. He was nothing special, like, at times. He is a good player. I'm not saying he's not, but Alexander Isak is that guy. Do you know what I mean? He's a game changer. The amount of average performances Newcastle had this season, and he just won the game for us on his own. And that's before you put him into a team with Mo Salah and, you know, all of the other players that they've got at Liverpool, a title-winning side. It's unbelievable. Newcastle paid £63 million for Alexander Isak when he was essentially a nobody. He had talent, and we knew, like, on the continent, people knew of him, but there was an unsureness about him. We took that risk, and like many of Eddie Howe's signings, credit to him, it paid off. Are we now going to sit there and go, we're going to make a £57 million profit on that signing after his stock has gone up from a bit of a nobody to one of the best strikers in world football? Is that enough of a profit for that? I don't think it is. And the situation we find ourselves in is even more difficult because we've obviously made our feelings known about Ekitike, who was basically baby Isak. He's not the same player exactly, but he's similar. He's got a lot of the similar qualities that we like in Alexander Isak. I was excited to see them play up front together. Imagine that. But Liverpool have basically said to us, you either give us Isak or we're taking Ekitike. And I'm just like, you fucking bastards. It's the right thing for them to do, right? Because if they don't get Isak, they still need someone. And Ekitike, as we already know, is probably the next best thing you're going to get in, you know, across Europe's top 5 leagues. As a 22-year-old, his numbers are the best. So for me, I look at Ekitike and I think, if it's a choice between him and Isak, right, I want them both, but Isak wins. We've got to stick with him because there's another season that could go by. We could drive his value up even more. Ekitike could come to Newcastle and maybe it might not go well. It probably would because, you know, he's a fucking good player from what I've seen. The problem is you're kind of in a situation where you've got a ready-made replacement for Isak there. You've got a world record fee on the table. The owners, they must be thinking, fucking hell, we have had a lot of PSR issues. It must be tempting them. It's certainly not tempting the fans, I can tell you that, because you just don't get many sure things in football. We've seen Man United spung how much money up the fucking wall on maybes and so many duds. We've got a sure thing. He's already under contract 3 more years. We have to hold firm, especially if it's 120 million. As much as that's a lot of money, I think it's a joke. That would be a joke if we sold him for that little money because we're not in the same fucking transfer market anymore. Newcastle are being asked to spend 75 million on Ekitike, who fuck knows if he's going to fucking do it in the Premier League. And you're telling me for an extra 45 million, people can just go and sign Isak, who's already done it and clearly one of the best in the world. It doesn't feel fucking fair, that. I've got to give it to Liverpool. It's a good strategy, right? They backed us into a corner. They said, you're going to lose one or the other. But Isak's like our puppy. Do you know what I mean? We've already grown to love him. We haven't yet home this puppy. There's no attachment there. We don't know if he'd shit all over the rug. Who knows? Just let him go, right? He's a stray dog. It doesn't matter right now. And look, there's one thing I have to accept, which is the worst case scenario. What if we lose both? What if we lose out on Ekitike now because he goes to Liverpool, and then next summer Arsenal come and get Isak, for example? Then we've got fucking no one. That would be shit. Like fucking hell. Because this style of striker is what Eddie Howe likes, right? They've got everything. They've got the height, the mobility, aerial battles. They can take players on. They're the total package, and they can create goals. They're not, but this is the hard thing about being the club that's not quite challenging for titles, because you're just fucking vulnerable. And look, even Liverpool are vulnerable, right? There's players riding out their contracts to go to fucking Real Madrid, for God's sake, just willy-nilly. It's happening multiple times now. It's football.
Guys, it's football.
That being said, better the devil you know. We've got Isak. We know what he can do. You don't know what you're getting with Ekitike. We've seen Liverpool have signed hit and miss strikers over the last few years. Fucking rights they have. Say, look, go and fucking take Ekitike there. Go and fucking do it. Hold on to Isak and just hope that with the money that we've clearly got, we've got a decent amount there, we can go and find someone else who can fit that role, because it ain't worth it in my opinion, especially not for 120 fucking million. You've got defensive midfielders who do the fucking dog work, who are going for over 100 million, and you're telling me that one of the best footballers, not just goal scorers, in world football is only worth, what, 15 million more than that? What a fucking load of shit. Scoring and creating goals is the hardest job in football. Always has been. And they have always been the world record ever since fucking Alan Shearer when I was a kid. World record fee. It's the hardest job in football. And yeah, Isak would be a world record fee or around about that, but it wouldn't be anywhere near the comparative value that we've seen placed on much lesser players. Jack fucking Grealish, 100. Fuck me. Don't even get me started.
This will actually ruin my day.
And now, a word from our sponsors. If you're looking at going away this summer, then this is a great way to save some cash. Wherever you're planning on going on your summer holidays, you're gonna need internet access on the go. And there's only one company I trust for that when I'm abroad, and it's Saley. And right now, there's 15% off your first eSIM plan, so this is a great time to get in. What's great about Saley is it gives you a local SIM card you can use when you're traveling, so you don't have to pay those crazy roaming fees just to send a message or check your Instagram. And they've got plans in over 160 countries and 8 regions, so pretty much wherever you're going, they're going to be able to make sure that you're connected. All you got to do is click my link in the description, download the app. It's going to work on iOS or Android. Then you buy your plan and you can choose the amount of data and the time frame that suit you best. Then you just install the eSIM on your phone, and when you land at your destination, you can activate your plan instantly. And the great thing about Saley eSIMs is they only ever have to be installed once. So when you go on your next trip, you buy a plan for the new country, turn the eSIM back on, and boom, you're back in business. And the thing I love about Saley is I actually used it when I went to LA not long ago, and I had unlimited data, which is one of their options, and actually the connection that I got from the eSIM was faster than the Wi-Fi in the hotel, and it just saves the hassle of hopping from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi when you leave the hotel and not being able to do anything when you're in between locations. And they've got 24/7 support, and they'll do you a refund if for whatever reason your eSIM isn't compatible. So get yourself onto Saley now. Click the link in the description below, go to saley.com/kickoff and use the code kickoff, all block capitals, all one word, for 15% off your first purchase. And a lot of Liverpool fans are pointing it out online that they wouldn't have gone in for him if Isak hadn't already made his feelings clear that he wants to join Liverpool. And like, yeah, but who wouldn't want to join Liverpool in the Premier League? They're the fucking Premier League champions. They've got a great club. I don't take offence to that as a Newcastle fan, because I don't think Alexander Isak also is going to throw his toys out the pram and refuse to play for Newcastle if he doesn't get his move or any of that nonsense. I think the guy's a pro. He's a nice guy. We've given him a lot of respect and love, and I don't think he's just going to fuck us off like that. If we do lose Isak and we get Ekitike, I still think that that's a massive blow, even if we get Ekitike, because Isak is so tried and tested, he's so trusted, and I think also that the lads in the dressing room, a lot of them feel like with him at the top of the pitch, we can beat anyone, we have a chance against anyone, and also they're invested in our club because of players like him. So I think the morale of the club would be affected. I also think the end result would be affected, because there were so many games last season where we were average and he saved the day, and that's something that was really glossed over, but there were some horrific performances that he saved us from. And to then bring in a 22-year-old lad and just be like, yeah, you go and do that in your first season as well, just replicate what, let's be real here, Isak, aside from Erling Haaland and Harry Kane, in the last however many years in the Premier League, you don't see fucking players putting out seasons like that. It doesn't happen. Not as strikers. Obviously Mo Salah, he's a different ball game altogether. There would be a regression. There just would be, even with Ekitike. So what do you want to do? Do you want to take a backward step and hope that you can recover somehow, spend the money on other players? It's not the end of the world if you get the right amount of money for it, because we've seen before clubs have sold very important players and recovered really well and actually gone on to be better for it, like Liverpool when they sold Coutinho. I just don't think now would be the right time. I think a year from now, with Ekitike next to him, where he can have less pressure, play it together, actually build up a rapport. And here's the thing. I think what Newcastle were hoping to do is level up as a club so that Isak doesn't want to leave, because we're actually challenging at the end of that. As fucking hopeful as I'm being right now, I think that would have been the hope from Newcastle. But let's just say we do sell him and we get Ekitike. I still think Ekitike would be a good signing. Everything I've seen of his highlights, and I'm not saying I've watched every game of him, but the performances I have watched, the full games, he's a fucking good player. He can beat a man. He can do it in the air. His finishing could be a little bit better, which is a bit of a worry because Isak's finishing is fucking ice cold. I think it just brings us to the harsh reality that we're going to have to face this sooner or later, that he is going to go. But to give him to a rival, and a rival, yeah, like we're not exactly battling Liverpool for the title, but we want to. And what we're doing is that gap may be whatever it is now. We're making the gap bigger by doing that. So you got to pay us a bit for that. It's a different ball game if we're selling him to a Spanish side. For 120 million... Nah, not for me. Like, I think that would be insane in this modern market. But let us know what you think in the comments below. There's a part of me that I no disrespect, right? Because we all do it as football fans. We see a player from another team we admire and we, mention him every fucking day on Twitter. I am sick to death of Arsenal fans, and especially Liverpool fans, mentioning Isak. Fucking shut up about it, honestly. And I get it, like, he's fucking class, so why wouldn't you want him? But my God, it's intrusive at this point, right? He's our player until he's your player, so just hang fire, all right? But let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments below. It's a smart move from Liverpool, I can't lie. But equally, the decision for Newcastle, unless the money is unrefusable, is a simple decision. It's a no from me. Let us know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Kickoff, and I'll see you on the next one.